everyone, how's it going? How is everyone? Happy Sunday. Oh my god, 3 streams in a row. Who is she? She's just hit the ground running. After this re-debut, she's back. How are you? How are you? Move myself down a little bit. Da-da-da. Perfect. I hope everyone's doing well. Today, I'm here to tell you what I learned between making my first, there she is, my first, and my second VTuber model, both of which were for myself. And I feel like I learned a lot. Some people, I'm sure people have their own opinions on which is objectively better, and I don't think that there's like a better and worse in character design and art, right? And I'm no expert. I'm not like a professional character designer. I'm not here to tell you what is the right and wrong way to create a character, what is the right and wrong art style to use. I'm just here to share with you my thought process and what I learned and my experience in making 2 very different looking VTuber models of the same person. Because I think it's kind of an interesting perspective to share. So if anyone is looking to make a VTuber model or even just other kinds of character design, if you're interested in stuff like that, I hope that this can help you out and I can just share my thought process and my experience as someone who draws and has now made 2 VTuber models. So you can see as my old one on the left and my new one on the right. This image is like the wrong one. I uploaded the wrong image for the thumbnail. This is like an unfinished version of the current model. Like you can tell because like the hair accessories are unfinished. But ignore that. Ignore that. Don't worry about that. So first off, I just want to show you guys, I have a little presentation prepared just to go through some stuff. So first I want to show you guys this. These are just the 2 models side by side comparison. I feel like it really helps illustrate the differences between them. And I've made some little bulleted lists for you here to help you out. So I think that the biggest difference that I went for on these 2 models is that the first one has this very high fantasy vibe. I really wanted her to be very like mystical and magical type of energy, which I do think is nice, but just the more that I got into streaming and the more that I thought about it, the less I wanted that to be the vibe of my character, because I'm actually not the biggest like fantasy fan. I just kind of rolling with it. But my current one has a bigger like modern J fashion influence, which is much more true to me. This is like kind of more similar to how I dress. I mean, obviously, I mean, shit, if I could get away with wearing this like epic cloak around, that would be so awesome. Yeah, this one has like a lot of people compared it to Dungeons and Dragons. It has a very like classic fantasy sort of feel with the book and the cloak. And I wanted my current persona to look like a character that exists more in the modern day. And even though there is still like a fantasy aspect to it, which is why I kept this cape here, I wanted it to have less of a D&D feel, if that makes sense. A really big change that I made was the overall art style. The thing that I went for on the original model on the left is these visible paint strokes. You can see it a lot in the skirt and also in the hair. There are these really visible brush strokes on this model, which I thought has like a nice painterly feel and is how I do a lot of my illustrations. I really like in digital art and in traditional art, excuse me, when you can see the visible strokes. You can see it on the arms, and I think that it is nice and it gives this kind of softer effect, but I think it's maybe not ideal for being a VTuber. The biggest reasons of that is like making thumbnails. I thought that the really paint strokey look of the old model would make it really difficult to make thumbnails that stand out. It would always kind of try to blend into whatever image is behind it. I think it made it really difficult to design around. So the new model has these really sharp, clean lines and really harsh cell shading. You can see it the most kind of on the leg here and like on the booba, that there's like a cell shaded effect. There's almost no blending. You can't really see paint strokes. I didn't use like a paintbrush in Photoshop when I was making it, and I think it makes it look a lot cleaner. I think it makes it a lot easier to make thumbnails. It has just a much more graphic design, and it also has a lot less shading. So you can see there's a much darker tone overall on the left model. Like there's this like the shading you get under the chin, and right here, like the color that I use to shade the skin is a much darker brown. So it's a lot more contrasty, but it's also a little bit funky, I think. I think if I were gonna remake this model, I would not use that color for the shading, I think. Also, a big one that has changed a lot is the proportions. So this one has your very traditional anime proportions. It's got like not realistic, it's still got a pretty big head. Like usually you want your shoulders to be like much wider than your head. She still has pretty slim shoulders and a pretty big head and pretty big eyes. And then the rest of her body is very classic anime sort of proportions, where you've got like your wrists line up with your crotch and your legs and stuff like that. It's just very traditional anime proportions. There's nothing super crazy about it. Whereas the new one has a much wider head. You can see that the head is basically almost as wide as the shoulders, much larger eyes, and then the head is much bigger. And she also does have like a shorter torso and more exaggerated legs. I just really yeah, I had brain expansion. I actually got smarter. So I really wanted very exaggerated proportions. I think because I was just thinking a lot about like standing out, I guess, as a VTuber, and I was like, my own abilities to draw anime only go so far. Like, I'm never going to have the most beautiful, painterly, artsy anime styled model if I make it myself. But what I can do that other anime illustrators don't do often is like a really cartoony style model. And she still, I would say, looks more like an anime than a Western cartoon. But I just decided to really go for it. Maybe it's a little bit of a risk, maybe it's not to some people's taste, but I just really wanted to go for it with really exaggerated proportions, really big eyes, really simple shading, and I think it came out really nice. Yeah. Another thing that I added was the addition of these pink accents. I'm gonna get rid of all this. So you can see now I've got pink socks, pink shoes, I've got a pink armband. It's not exactly the color pink of my hair, but it's a very classic pastel pink. I just wanted to include pink throughout the rest of the design because you'll notice that it's nowhere else on the design on the left. And while it does kind of draw attention to the face to have pink be only in the hair, I think it's a little bit odd. I think this design is kind of lacking in some balance as far as color goes. And this one also has a lot more brown, so overall the color palette for this one is much darker. And the colors here are really saturated, especially this purple is just about as saturated purple as you could possibly get. This is like a really crazy color, and it's kind of been eliminated from the design. I do still really like this color, but I think it's, when you're looking at it from the full body and not just from the shoulders up, like in a stream, the really bright purple on this skirt, I think, is really taking over the rest of the design. I don't know about you guys, but when I look at this model, I look at the skirt first, and that's not really what you want. You want to be looking at the head first, ideally. I just think it's drawing attention in the wrong place. This design is really bottom-loaded on saturation. The most saturated parts are at the bottom, which is not usually where you're trying to draw attention. So with this one, the colors are much more balanced. Like, basically all the pastels are sort of creating a little bit of a sandwich with the darkest color in the middle, so it keeps it a little bit more balanced, I think. And also, there's no more bangs. I've always wanted, this is just a personal thing, I've always wanted a VTuber model that didn't have bangs, but when I tried to make this model without bangs, It looked absolutely crazy. She had like a huge forehead. It looked crazy without bangs. I just couldn't make it work. But this one, I was able to finally have my model without bangs, which is nice. I've always wanted a visible forehead. You guys love forehead, right? That one's just for me. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason so many anime characters have bangs, but I really wanted to push myself to draw something in an anime style that didn't have bangs, or has less bangs. Like, I would say these pieces could technically probably still count as a kind of bang, but not like your blunt anime bangs. Yeah, so those are the major differences. Your design looks much busier. You're right about the strong purple color catching the eye. Yeah, I think it is busier. I really was going, like I said, for this sort of Dungeons and Dragons vibe where you've got this character who's like an adventurer almost. And I think that's really, really important when you're doing character design, even if you're doing a VTuber, so it's not really part of a story. You still want to think about who that character is and what they would be doing. And I think that this character is doing something super different from this character, right? Like, this character has the vibe of, yeah, like an adventurer or a mage wizard kind of vibe where she looks almost battle ready. She's got like kind of boots and belts, like she looks like she might be traveling or something like that. Whereas I really wanted this character to look more like a modern girly who spends her time on the computer. Because that's the story I had in my mind when I was making it, and that's also me. She just like me for real. So there's just a completely different vibe here. I've even abandoned my precious fingerless gloves. I thought that my character would always have fingerless gloves, but they're not there anymore because I replaced them with like a long sleeve. Yeah, that's my general thought process for the changes that I made, was just more color balance, different proportions, harsher shading, and then a more modern computer girly vibe. I still wanted her to have a magical look, which is basically where this cape came from, but it's how it is. Yeah, maybe she does have gloves under the sleeves. Yeah, fuck if I know. Okay, really quick, I just want to show you guys. These were the non-negotiables, and I think that this is a good exercise to do when you're doing character design. I can't remember where I picked up this exercise. I think maybe I learned it in a class in school or something. But you want to identify the things in your character that, even if you were to completely redesign them, the things that would be non-negotiable to make your character still look like themselves. So I think for me, the things that were absolutely non-negotiable were the general colors. I still wanted very much purple, because purple's my favorite color. Horns, of course. The horns couldn't go anywhere. The split fluffy hair is essential. It has to have this curly, fluffy texture, and it has to be purple on the left and pink on the right. That's essential. Brown eyes. The leg bag. The leg bag, I wouldn't say is an essential element of the character, but I just love it. I wish leg bags were a practical thing. I think they look very cool. Also, freckles and the general symbols. So you can see that I've preserved this symbol is now on the shirt, and it's also on the leg warmers. I just forgot the word for leg warmers. And also this symbol, which is my Oshi mark, still appears on the model. It's there on the collar. So, you know, and then this like magic circle kind of shape is now on the shoulder. This is looking so ugly right now. But I preserved a lot of the same general symbols to kind of give the same energy. And then also I kind of preserved this shape in the top of the skirt. I don't know, how much time did you spend making both models? That's hard. I don't keep track. This one took much longer to paint. Like, the actual process of drawing it took many, many hours. But this one didn't take as long to draw, but it took longer to design. It went through a lot more design phases. That's why I feel like this one is almost like a first draft. It's like the first design is kind of what I ended up rendering. The old one feels like streaming between serious adventuring. I know, she's a little too serious, don't you think? My new one looks goofy as hell. I wanted her to have like a very silly energy. I wanted her to be like silly and unsettling. I think I'm a little bit unsettling, which is what I wanted. I was trying to capture my real life uncanniness. Apparently I'm very unsettling. But they did take me a long time to draw. Also, the new one, a little behind the scenes info, the new one, this one, has more layers, actually. I more carefully layered each individual piece, which I think is why the rig came out a lot smoother. This one actually has a lot more pieces. Like, in the old one, the hair is kind of just 2 pieces. And in this one, it's like 10 pieces, you know? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is that makes me unsettling. I think I don't... Some might say, not me, but some might say that I have a very blank stare and I don't make a lot of facial expressions. So maybe it's that. I don't know. All right, let's get into a little more character design. So here are the characters in silhouette. For those who don't know, silhouette is really, really important to character design. It's really important to making a character stand out. So I tried to be really careful about the silhouette in this model because I think the silhouette on the old model is kind of a flop. Like, the hair has this very fuzzy outline that blends into the hood here. And then the cape is so big that it totally overpowers the silhouette, and then you just kind of see the awkward shoes. Like, it's very, there's this trick where you draw, like, a line, and then you draw, like, a line at each defining trait of the silhouette, and it's super unbalanced, right? Like, there's a couple, you can pick out the waist, you can kind of pick out the head, then you can pick out the horn, but you can't really pick out anything else about this character. It's a really, really simple silhouette, which isn't always bad, but I think it's really unclear. Like, if you kind of blur your eyes and look at this, it's really hard to tell what's going on. So what I did to try to improve the silhouette in the new one is that I shortened the cape and gave it this shape. Because another thing with this one is that all of the shapes are kind of similar. Like, it's got like this curve, then sort of this curve, and then the cloak is sort of a curved line like that. So all the shapes are really, really similar on this one, which is also not good. So this one, it has a wider horn that gives it more of a horizontal factor, and then the hair has a much different shape. The hair has kind of a more unique shape, and then there's nothing interfering here, so you get a really clear divide between the hair and the shoulder. Then obviously it's a short skirt now. Well, it's always been a short skirt, you just can't tell over the cloak. Yeah, like, it almost looks like I'm wearing a long dress. So now you've got a short skirt, and then another thing about this one is it's super symmetrical. So what I did was I added the bunched up sock and the little bag here so that one leg has different details than the other. So I do think this one has a much more interesting and much more dramatic silhouette, and then also you can see the shoes and legs. So the shape that you get if you do the lines on this one is more like that. So you can see it's much kind of more balanced and weighted. I do kind of regret in silhouette that you can't see the arms. I'll go back really quick. But I really wanted the arms to be in front of the skirt because I think it's cute. Yeah, this one is, yeah, it's like a cone, exactly. So this one has a much clearer silhouette that I think would be easier to pick out of a crowd. And then just real quick, we can talk about the color palette. The color palette hasn't changed a whole lot. The biggest change is just the elimination of this super vibrant purple. And then the yellow has been changed to less of a gold and more of a pastel yellow. Really brightened up this brown, because this brown that we get on the boots here and on all these like I guess they're supposed to be leather elements, the gloves and the belt, is a really, really dull, cool brown. So the brown now is pretty much relegated only to the eyes. And it's a much brighter, much more orangey brown. So then I've basically taken this purple from the cloak and used the like the pinkest part of it. It's a much pinker purple. This purple on the outside of the cloak here is actually really blue when you look at it. So now the purple is much pinker. And I've really just tried to unify the colors by making everything have a pinker undertone. Whereas on this one, you get a very blue undertone on the clothes and then a very warm undertone in the hair. I think it makes the colors a little bit all over the place. So now everything has a really pink undertone. And I've also included the pink as more of an accent color. Ugh, I said color. So that's just more unified. It's got a little bit of a softer look. And then, so instead of breaking everything up with colors, everything is broken up by the stylization and the proportions, so. And you can see that I've taken inspiration from the old model, because I didn't want to totally change it. Like, I'm still wearing this button-down shirt. This is exactly the same color. I've still got this sort of situation going on where there's a dark purple over it. This shape is still preserved. It's just a much more pleasing color of yellow. Like, the more I look at this shade of yellow, the more I despise it. Like, it's supposed to be gold, basically, but for whatever reason, I feel like I didn't do a good job of painting it in a way that it looks shiny, so it just looks like a horrible mustard yellow instead of, like, gold. So now it's a pastel yellow. Also, as a special treat just for you guys, this model shows a bit more skin. You can see my shoulders now. That one's for you guys. Really quick here, let me just show you these. Ah! Big. Big. But just some changes I made on the face, or you can see that I basically eliminated this really intense rendering that I had in the hair, because I think it was just getting muddy. The same with the eyes. I tried to really render the eyes, and I just think it could have been better. You can see, like, the shading around the face is a little bit goofy. I don't know. I feel like the face on my old model could have been better. So on this one, I really cleaned up the face. Much bigger eyes, much more exaggerated. She's also much paler, which I think just kind of is supposed to go with... my thought process was just that it goes more with the story. But yeah, like, you can see it really clearly right here. How horrible this mustard yellow color was. So it's a bad color. I don't like it. And yeah, and my cheeks are still nice. I still have nice cheeks. You can see the freckles. All the important stuff is still the same. It's just a style change. My hair is much longer now. Now I have these hair pieces down the front, which I think are fun. You know what really does look sharper? Yeah, you know, I think it's an upgrade. I know not everyone will agree, but I certainly do. Ah! Sorry, I didn't mean to go backwards. Yeah, I think the hair has a more interesting shape, whereas this one's just sort of very scrunched up, and maybe it looks a little fluffier, but I just think it's not as interesting to look at, and it doesn't have as interesting a silhouette. I also have a lot more colors up at the face now. I really tried to incorporate the colors from the rest of the outfit up near the face by adding all of these hair accessories, whereas before I pretty much just had this one, like, little gold clip thing. Yeah, so another thing I want to show you guys is just here's a little bit of behind the scenes action. So the first thing I do before I start working on any character design or any project at all really is make, like, a mood board. So here's a screenshot of the old mood board. This is the mood board for the old model. This is gonna be, like, embarrassing. You guys are gonna, like, see the things I'm looking at when I try to think of character design. So this was a screenshot of the old mood board. So you can see, like, a lot of the influences, a lot of these are Project Second cards, but a lot of the influences are, like, fantasy and witch designs. I really wanted her to be almost like a witch. And I made this on Pinterest. I don't really use Pinterest that much anymore, but when I made this on Pinterest, I was like explicitly looking for like anime witches. That was a really big influence, is like all these characters with these like all these potions and belts and cloaks and stuff like that. Those were really specific influences. And so as a comparison, here's the mood board for the new one. This one's way different, right? This one's really influenced by like modern fashion. I did not improve. Okay. It was really influenced by modern fashion, designed for modern characters, specifically our girlies K Angel and also Enna. These are just like some Pinterest models, some illustrations. She's just, yeah, I picked these two characters because they're just like me for real. I'm literally K Angel, okay? I'm literally needy girl overdose. I'm literally needy streamer overload. I'm literally internet angel. I'm literally internet overdose. Okay. So I was like specifically influenced by these two outfits. Sue me. You don't even know. Rebecca doesn't even know what needy girl overdose is. She doesn't know how much it's literally me, okay? She's holding like a ring light in this picture. Oh, she does? I didn't know you knew about needy girl overdose. Okay, never mind. But yeah, I specifically wanted like, you can see the specific elements here. It's like the striped socks, leg warmers, just the sort of general silhouette of like a smaller top and then a fluffy skirt. I really liked this collar. It's almost like a nun inspired kind of collar. But then on my version, I made it like have a cape. Ah, you can't see it. On this version, I made it into like a cape instead of just the collar of a shirt. But that's sort of where the inspiration came from. It's almost like a school uniform or a nun or something like that. The platform shoes, and then all the hair clips, like sort of adding lots of hair accessories. It's sort of like a Decora kind of vibe. So that's cool. I specifically really liked this like warmer shape because it's not too bulky. Like these ones are a little bit too bulky. But yeah, I don't have quite as many belts as a lot of these girlies do in these. I was like, oh, I feel like I don't need so many belts. Okay, so I do want to give... Oh, wait, I meant to show you guys this first. So this is a little glimpse behind the scenes. This is this concept sketch for me. Isn't that interesting? She looks a little different. She's got a couple... This is like the overall... Sorry, I keep hitting the wrong button. This is like the general design that I was working from, which didn't change too much. The biggest thing that changed was the shape of the skirt. Here, one sec. One sec. I'm going away. I'm going away. So the biggest thing that changed was the shape of the skirt. You can see it used to have almost like a spiky bottom, but then I changed it to be a lot more round. And then the proportions. She used to have like less exaggerated proportions. So you can see her head is taller and narrower. And then the hair has sort of a less full shape. It has more of like a slope, I guess. So that was the biggest thing that I changed while working on the model, was I just adjusted the proportions a lot to get the right exaggeration. But the outfit stayed pretty much the same. DoorDash is so slow. Okay, I'm sorry that DoorDash is slow. You are God's strongest soldier. But the outfit stayed pretty much the same, I think. Oh, it's too fast? What? I'll come eat in a bit. I'll come eat in a bit. But yeah, this was like the biggest point of contention I had while I was working on it, is that I like rendered out this whole skirt. And then I decided I didn't like the shape of the skirt. I didn't like the spiky skirt. I thought it wasn't it. Alright, let me descend back to the bottom. Oh my god, I'm so small. Hello? Hello? Hello, chat. I'm so small. Ugh, now I messed up my whole situation. Oh my god. I can't get it back. There it is. There I am. Alright, I do want to give a couple of shout-outs. That's pretty much all I had to say about character design. If you guys wanted to ask me any, like, questions, I don't know if any of you guys have, like, specific things you wanted to ask about character design, but I would be more than happy to share with you any tips or opinions that I have. But, just a quick refresh. My biggest tips have to do with silhouette and color. Like, you really want your colors to be unified and well-balanced, and you really want your silhouette to be clear. I would not say this is a pleated skirt. It's like a ruffled skirt. A pleated skirt has more of a straight edge. It's kind of like that. Like, pleats are very clear when, like, something is sewn into like that. It's like a ruffled skirt. This skirt is like the skirt that I was referencing, and I would not say that this is a pleated skirt. Pleats are, like, boxier. They have to be sewn at the front. What was it that made you decide to do the redesign? I think my biggest thought was I was working on like lore and story and thinking a lot more about like my VTuber as a character, I guess. I'm not really gonna change my streams. I'm not gonna like start acting. I'm not gonna start role-playing. But I was thinking more about like the story behind it. And I was like, the more I thought about it, the less my design sort of fit with the story and vibe that I had in my mind. And also, the more I looked, and this happens to anyone who draws, right? This happens to anyone who draws, but the more you look at your own work, the more you see the flaws in it. You know, you're your own harshest critic. And since I was streaming and editing and making thumbnails and stuff, I was always looking at my old model, and I just started to see so many flaws in it. I just started to see so many, not even flaws. How am I? I'm doing pretty good. I just started to see things that I could improve on. You know, it'd been a couple months, and I was like, you know what? I was looking at it, and I was like, you know what? I can do better. I don't think that the old one is bad, but I thought I can do better. So that's kind of why I just decided to go for the redesign. That's mostly it. I was like, the time has come. I can do better. And probably the time will come again where I feel like I can do better than this one. And you know what? That means that you're improving. It means that your eye as an artist is improving if you look at your old work and you think, I can do better. So that is why I did the redesign. And also, it's just fun. You know, like, designing VTubers is very fun. Because it's completely self-indulgent in a lot of ways. It doesn't have to be practical. It doesn't have to... You don't have to be able to, like, animate it yourself. It's just totally... It's a very good exercise in just free-flowing expression and making your ideal character design. It's a lot of fun. I liked it a lot. It's just a fun process. I was watching a lot of like live 2D tutorials and learning a lot more about Photoshop, and I was like, yeah, I can do better. So real quick, I want to give a couple like a couple shout outs. Not like because these people need my shout out, but just I want to give credit where credit is due so I don't end up in an H-Bomber Guy video and die. I'm kidding. But so Tamu is the model artist for Shion and Punko, and I specifically referenced her artwork when looking at facial proportions. So if you feel like some of the proportions of my face are a little bit similar to her work, this is like a specific artist that I was using as a point of reference because I think that her faces are really, really, really cute. Punko is adorable, Shion's adorable. I know they have another VTuber sibling that I don't remember her name, but that was my specific reference for drawing the eyes. I really like the sort of cell shading going on in the eyes. Yeah, Punko mentioned. Punko mentioned. Yeah, that's someone specifically I referenced, and also Anya from Hololive. I kind of referenced the body shape, and also some of the some shading and stuff. I cannot, I'm so sorry, I forgot to take a screenshot of her model artist Twitter. I do not remember her name, but I use some of her artwork as sort of a color and shading reference, so I want to give my credit where credit is due. These are two of the artists I looked at while working. I think that's really important. I think looking at and referencing artists that you admire while you're working is a really great way to improve. Just, you know, give your credit where credit is due. But yeah, those were that. And also, okay, so there's this VTuber named Squeegee, who makes really good videos about VTuber character design and stuff like that, and I watched a lot of these videos, so you should go check out Squeegee. It's at Squeegee VT. They make really good videos about character design specifically geared at VTubers, and I think they are like actually a professional character designer in their real life, so they really know what they're talking about. A lot of these like silhouette tips I kind of swiped from them. They've got a lot of really good advice out there, so I think if you're kind of a noob and you're looking to design a VTuber or a character, you should definitely check them out. Very useful stuff. And also, I really like their model. I like to watch their videos even if it's not even a subject I care about, because I just like to watch their model move. They've got really nice animations going on. Yeah, that's the end of my presentation. That's all I got to tell you. So I guess now, I guess you guys can play judge. Did I improve? Type yes or no. And if you type no, I'm gonna cry. Let me have a sippy. The did I improve is mostly clickbait. Rebecca, fuck off. I would like to see you do better, Rebecca. You too, Selin. Fucking, I shouldn't have asked. I should never ask you guys questions. I never was saying no. Shit. All right. Fuck you guys. Fuck you guys. Fuck you guys. You guys suck. Air, is that what you wanted? You guys suck. Oh, this one's like broken. Hello? Oh, I didn't calibrate this at all. Ah! Ah! No. Oh my god. Wait. Hello? Hello? I'm Pikmin. That's all the models I have loaded. Wait, actually. You guys remember when I would become slime? I forgot about this one. Hello. Fuck me, do I still have it? Let me see. This is just model tour. This one has no, I don't even know what this is. Oh shit, it is here. Oh my god. Whoa, the throwback. Oh, she's so cute. Should bring her back sometime. And, you know, none of my old models are like dead. They're not all dead in the grave. It's just how things work. Time keeps moving forward. She's as beautiful as the day we lost her. You didn't lose her. She's right here. She's still on my computer. The Vroid is the only one I don't still have the files. I don't have the files. I don't have the files and I don't have the software to run it. The Vroid isn't coming back. Abandoned nostalgia time. God, is it like old enough that it's something you guys would consider nostalgia? That makes me feel old. I've been streaming for too long. I need to graduate. Goodbye, chat. Goodbye, chat. All right, food's here. I'm gonna log off. Rest in peace, sweet prince. I'm not dead. Even when I do graduate, it won't be because I'm dying. When I graduate, it's gonna be because I'm going to join Hololive. JK. All right. Bye-bye. I'm gonna head out. Let's pick a raid, though. Who's streaming? Don't go anywhere, alright? I need to raid someone. Who's streaming? Who is alive? Enjoy food? I will enjoy food. We got dumplings. Who's streaming? No one. Why is no one ever streaming? You can raid on YouTube? I can raid on YouTube. I just need to actually find someone to raid. So yeah, but before I go, I will tell you, no stream tomorrow. I will stream on Tuesday. On Tuesday, we're gonna play... What are we playing? On Tuesday, we're gonna play... I think Power Wash Sim, because I'm gonna be tired, so we're just gonna be like chilling, you know? We're gonna raid Rosa. Go say hi to her. She's playing Skyrim. Ooh, I like Skyrim. Okay, I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Make sure to check out my schedule, because I've got like a couple of streams this week. We are back and better than ever. We're actually streaming. Look, who is that? Who is she? She actually streams. Xenoblade Chronicles? It's not Xenoblade Chronicles. I'm not streaming Xenoblade Chronicles. I already did that. Your time is come and gone until I play Xenoblade 2, maybe someday. Okay, up to the darkness. Goodbye. I'll see you all on Tuesday. Bye. Bye.